Welcome to the Walking Dead UK podcast. It's Entertainment Talks podcast for the Walking Dead World Beyond on AMC and Amazon. I'm your host Matthew. Joining me today, my co-host is David. How are you doing today?
I'm very well, thanks.
Good. We're here for a very positive special episode this week. I know that we did say last time when we finished concluding our analysis and reviews of the season, which was a couple of weeks ago for the season finale episode. You can still go and listen to that if you want to. Should be in the same feed and everything. But what we're here to do today, this episode is called A Gift from the Set. So I'll just explain what's kind of going on. So, a couple of weeks before the season finale episode, or the double season finale episode, I received an email. Of course, you can always write in matthew@entertainmenttalk.org. I received an email, and it was from a guy called David. I am allowed to say this person's first name, but not their surname. And no, it isn't David from the same podcast that's with me now. It isn't
No.
the same person. Yes, I'm not allowed to say his surname, but I am allowed to say his first name. Guy was called David, and he said that he had something he wanted to send me, and he didn't want to sort of ruin the surprise of what it was. So instead of telling me I'm going to send you this thing, he said, I've got something to send you. Can you give me some kind of address? And then we kind of went from there. And I remember at the time, because I was talking to you about it at the same time, wasn't he? What wasn't I? About
Yeah.
bit sort of bit out there, bit confused about what was kind of going on, and mostly just sort of surprised as well. And he mentioned in the email that it was something to do with something I specifically said on a podcast. Now, that doesn't actually quite narrow it down because we've done loads of episodes. But you sort of looked him up a little bit and you found where he was from. And then you said he might be from Walking Dead World Beyond. Turns out that he is. And yeah, a few weeks went by. That was sent on the 3rd of December. It was sent from America, so it's going to take a little bit longer and all that. And basically, he has sent me a letter. He sent me these coasters. There's a little bit of I guess you'd call it backstory behind them, and why they were sort of made and things. And there's also a photo of David and what's the guy's name? Nicholas, the guy who plays Elton from the show. So I'm not allowed to read everything in this letter because there's certain things that are involving deeper with the show and that kind of stuff. No like spoilers or anything necessarily, just parts that he wants me to leave out. But I'm allowed to read the majority of what's in here. So if it sounds like I've skipped over a part, that's because I have. So let me just read the letter out and we can kind of go from there. So it says, Dear Dave, Dear Matthew and David. So it is addressed to you as well.
Yes.
Obviously you're my co-host here and all that, so that makes a lot of sense. Hello from Richmond, Virginia, shooting location of The Walking Dead World Beyond. I'm a local props assistant here who got to make a few of the props in the show and was on set for most of the shooting of Season 1. I've been listening to your episode breakdowns and have thoroughly enjoyed your reactions and analysis. You've given me some good laughs and a few insights into the broader connections with The Walking Dead and with Fear, so with all three of the different shows, that I hadn't caught while reading the scripts. The whole crew worked incredibly hard last year, facing some wild obstacles and trying conditions. This next part I've got to skip a little bit. It has been affirming to hear your kind and thoughtful takes, and I wanted to thank you for that. You're very welcome. You know, when you make a good show, we'll
Yeah.
tell you that it's good. So it's as simple as that. But no, it's good as well. I especially wanted to write to you after hearing you name Elton as your favourite character. As you can see in the photo, the one that he's given me, he was mine as well. Coming to the show as a job and having not followed much of The Walking Dead previously, besides the first Telltale game years ago. That was back in 2012, the first season.
That's a great game as
Yeah,
well.
brilliant game. Yeah. The usual grim and bleak vibe of the franchise isn't really my taste, but pretty immediately I and a few of my colleagues latched onto Elton as a wonderfully eccentric anomaly, innocently charging into an apocalypse with his belted together suitcase, vintage camera, and a pocket fisherman like a bright-eyed hobbit. It's quite a good way to compare him, actually, I think.
That
Yeah.
is actually
Yeah, sort of like that.
that's
Yeah.
a really good description of him. Yeah.
Yeah, sort of like like a little hobbit from the Lord of the Rings films. He
Yeah.
reminded me of my own childhood nerdery and ill-prepared camping adventures. His cheerful karate shouts were so earnest and out of place, yet poignant for the season's arc, that I had to immortalize them. Towards the end, I made these stickers as my own little joke and a gift wrapped to the cast and crew. confusing several who weren't present for that scene as well, and gave a stack of each to Nicholas Cantu, who's the guy that plays Elton, Matthew Negrete, the showrunner, and Scott Gimple, who's what's his actual title? Like the overseer?
Overlord.
Overlord? The Overlord. What a title, eh? But
I don't know what his official title is. He's Chief Creative Officer of the Walking Dead universe.
Much.
I think he's actually his official title, but Walking Dead Overlord is basically what he is.
Yeah. But yeah, he gave them to them three. Obviously, they were on set as well, to give them out. Aside from a couple friends, you are the first people I've given them to who did not work on the show. And yeah, it just says I look forward to your coverage of season 2 as well, which we'll definitely be back for because we thoroughly enjoyed the first season.
Yes.
Then there's a PS thing. I can tell you that the spear stick, which was I think how I described it, weapons are called S-poles, named as such, I believe, by Episode 1's original director. Flyers for the S-poles training can be seen around the campus colony. Assistant props master Hannah, I'm not going to read her surname just in case I'm not allowed to. Hannah designed and gave S-pole repair the crew.
Yeah, gave S-pole repair pit crew mechanics t-shirts to each of us. That's funny.
He did that, and then they had to adjust them and things. I mean, yeah, they're probably a bit awkward to work with. I mean, I've never seen something like that before.
Yeah,
in a show, necessarily.
I think they're a great. I mean, they. So you said Hannah came up with them, which is great. I mean, hang on, does he? No, he actually no. Oh no, she designed the t-shirts. No, whoever came up with the S-pole in the first place, I think. Yeah, they're an interesting idea. The S-poles, because it's. I mean, they make perfect sense in a sort of zombie apocalypse world. You know, they're because they allow you to like stab things at a distance. So they're a great bit of prop design. That whoever came up with them originally, but yeah, I really like them. I think they're a great sort of nice addition. I hope we see more kind of inventive things like that, because I mean, guns are all well and good, and
Sure.
knives and all that sort of stuff. But it's nice to see something that is specifically designed to take out zombies. So
yeah. And if you want to like be a bit more safe with them, you can just put them away. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we had to fix to adjust them during shooting, so they had some stuff there. Also says Felix's boyfriend is named Will, not Bill.
Yes, that was you.
That was me. To get that wrong, I put my hands up. Sure. Cool to see him at the end of the season. That was great as well. Yeah, so there was obviously a few things I couldn't read out there, like I said, but I was able to read out most of that, which was quite good. So I received that on, I think it was Saturday or Sunday, just gone, and I was it was in the back of my mind that, like, okay, this thing could arrive any day. We don't know, COVID and Christmas and all that sort of stuff. The post has been a bit very, very sort of slow lately. I mean, I was waiting for Cyberpunk at the time, and I didn't really know that the letter would arrive. But he did say that he sent it to me on a particular day and just said, it might take a little bit of time. The letter did bring me to tears, especially the start of it, where he said about like the what was it said? Let me just read the top bit out again. It said about like listening to the coverage and like the analysis and that sort of thing. It's just such a shock to me that not only I mean there's a good few steps here, right? First of all, us doing the podcast. Second of all, me putting it in the group, and then the fact that somebody in, I'm not going to say which Facebook group or whatever, but I put it in a Facebook group. There was somebody in that. There's loads of Walking Dead Facebook groups, even some that I'm still not in now. They were in that group. I didn't know that this David person was in that group. And then the fact that he found it in there, then listened to it and didn't shut it off or whatever, and then wanted to send us letters. It was crazy. I was just in a bit of shock, and even like at the end of the day, I mean, that was a great day as well. And I don't know, I was just in shock at the whole thing. Just the fact that somebody who actually worked on the show would, first of all find it and then listen and then like it and then write in and then want to write in, and it's I don't know. It's pretty crazy to me. I mean, I know that you've like met people from different that have worked on different shows and things, and you've seen them at conventions. So this is a bit newer to me. Obviously, I know I've been doing this for coming up to 5 years, but I don't know. It was very much a shock for me. So
there is a difference. I mean, between because I mean, I go to conventions and I interview people, and I've done a lot of people that design props and work on sets and all that sort of stuff, so I do interview those sort of people. But the difference with something like this is, like you say, he actually kind of took the effort to sit down, write you a letter, say that he enjoyed the show, had actually found it himself, and had come to the show. It wasn't like you sent it to him, or he'd found it himself and said he enjoyed it, and enjoyed it enough to actually write to you, and that's lovely. And because I still get that sort of thrill when I bump into people sometimes at conventions, and I mentioned that I run Geektown, and they're like, "Oh, I know that site." It's
crazy.
Yeah, it's like that. I know Bex gets it as well when she finds people. She'll go to conventions and people recognize her sometimes, and that's it's nice. It's nice because that you are actually reaching people with the stuff that you're doing. Because there's always, whenever you do anything on the internet, there are so many podcasts out there and so many streamers and all this
YouTube,
sort of thing.
Twitch,
and,
all that.
YouTube, Twitch. There are so many people doing this sort of stuff. So if you come across people that have stumbled across you and like your content, regardless of whether they've worked on the show or not, that's always lovely and always nice to hear. So particularly though, when you get something from somebody who has had a close connection with the show and says, "Oh, this is great, I really like this," and even not just stopping there to actually send you a message to say, and send you some lovely coasters and stuff to say, we like what you're doing, that's lovely. That's great. It's always lovely when things like that happen. So
yeah, I mean, I'm still
very nice of him.
I'm still surprised even now that it even happened. I know it's been several days, but you want to remember something like this that happens to you. I mean, it's the first time someone sent a letter and that kind of thing. And as much as we appreciate people writing in with emails about feedback and stuff, this is a bit different to that. This is somebody that's written in a letter that's worked on the show. Yeah, it's just it's crazy. I mean, he could have seen the podcast on the group. He could have scrolled past it and not clicked on it, and that could have been that. But yeah, it's crazy. Just want to read out what's on these coasters. It says Honesty, Integrity, 2019, Health, Friendship, and then Walking Dead World Beyond Season 1 props department. So. And then on the picture there is I didn't actually notice this until I flipped the picture over, which was several hours after I got this. I just didn't think to flip it over for any reason. It's got David himself and the guy that plays Elton as well on the front, and he's kind of cosplaying as Elton in this, which is kind of cool. Which is quite good. He has made this picture public, so you can actually go and find that if you want to. On the back it says Halloween 2019. I got to do the first ever Elton cosplay, which is quite good. Of course, Elton's a brand new character, isn't he? He's not in the book or anything like that, which is cool. His mum took the photo. I wasn't the only one in costume. The whole AD team were dressed as gender-bent Disney princesses and or princes and princesses from Dave. So that's brilliant as well.
Bless.
Yeah, it's good.
That's fun.
But we just wanted to do a special podcast, give a big thanks to David. Thank you very, very much. I've already replied to him and said how much it means to me, so he already does know. And I did ask for permission if we could actually read the letter. Like I said, only certain parts, which was fine. But I don't know. This is certainly one to remember. This is certainly one that deserves its own episode. I mean, if we had let's say the 10th episode later or more episodes, we probably would have included this in with the other episode. It just happens that there isn't any more left until next year. But that's pretty awesome. That really is pretty awesome. And when you start something like this, and you can have a plan and you can say I'm going to do this and that, but you don't know what's going to happen. And how much luck you're going to have, and because sure, you definitely need to work hard when you do something like podcasts or working on the internet in any way, shape or form, but you do also need a certain amount of luck. Because as much as people have told me before in the past, you need to work hard and everything, and I've said, yeah, I definitely do, and but you still need that bit of luck. And like you said, with so much content out there, it is a bit of luck when somebody comes across your thing online that you've made. And again, not only just seeing it online, to actually click on it and engage and do everything else, it's pretty wild. So thank you very, very much, David, for writing in with the letter again and for sending me these cool little things. That's great. And yeah, I very much look forward to seeing what they do for season 2. The final season was intended only as a 2-season thing. We'll just say next year at some point. That might be, depends on the COVID situation, I guess, as well.
Yeah.
So we'll see, but I'm looking forward to whenever the shows come back anyway. So that should be great. But yeah, there we go. Very, very interesting. Again, if you do want to write in or send stuff or whatever else, Matthew at entertainmenttalk.org, Twitter eTalkUK, there's contact page and information in your show notes, in the show notes. So just if you want to send stuff in or just simply write in or just say something about the podcast, you're more than welcome to do so. And we'll go from there. So I think that pretty much covers all of this for today, I think. So, because we don't have an episode to recap and we just wanted to talk about this. So,
yeah.
But thanks again to David, and we look very much forward to covering season 2. It should be very, very interesting as well. Thank you all very much for listening. You can find everything else that we do on entertainmenttalk.org, TV, video games, films, and Manchester United podcast as well. Just a quick note on a couple of content bits and pieces. We're going to be doing our Game Awards recap coverage on Sunday. Manchester United play against Southampton tomorrow. Southampton haven't won a game all season, but it would be quite fitting if they beat us, wouldn't it? So we're playing against them tomorrow. There will be the podcast for that, and later on today at 4 o'clock there will be another episode of Analysing Television. So look out for that a little bit later on as well. But check out everything that we do on entertainmenttalk.org. If you like what you've heard today and you want to support more of what we do here, that would be brilliant. We do have the Patreon page, $1 and $3 level tiers for ad-free podcast and review options. Word of mouth, if you'd like to tell people that you know about the content that we've got, either just tell them, or you can use social media, of course, Facebook, Twitter, different Facebook groups, all that sort of thing. For your up-to-date, reliable TV and film news, and to also go and vote on the Geektown Awards. That closes on the 31st, is it?
31st, yes.
31st, so you've still got a couple of weeks to go and vote on that. If you go to geektown.co.uk/awards, you can vote for Walking Dead World Beyond as well. That's the new comic book show category, isn't it, I think. So, but check all the different categories, go and vote, go and put in your name and your email, whatever you need to do for that, and you'll also be entered into a prize draw, so good luck with all that and everything. But for your general TV and film news, geektown.co.uk, Geektown Radio on Tuesdays, there's a new episode for this week to go and listen to. So check all that out. Over on the Twitch side of things, Bex is still streaming daily over on Twitch. Tristabytes, Trista BYTES. So for your geeky chatter and gaming and retro gaming and all sorts of fun stuff. If you want to watch me play games on Twitch, search for eTalkUK on there as well. Streamed some Cyberpunk this morning. Got Last of Us 2 and just a whole bunch of different games. So lots of different things to stream at the moment for that as well. And look out for Let's Play Sundays. Thank you very, very, very much for listening. Thanks once again to David for all this. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.